The false victory, the alien fleet commander smiled as he watched Earth's last city burn. Victory was certain, or so he thought. Commander Zektar stood on the bridge of his massive warship. His cold blue eyes stared down at the planet below. Earth looked broken. Smoke rose from every continent. The human cities were nothing but ash and rubble. "Sir, all human resistance has ended," reported his second-in-command. The officer's voice carried pride and satisfaction. Zektar nodded slowly. This had been easier than expected. For months, his fleet of 10,000 ships had attacked Earth. One by one, human cities had fallen. Their primitive weapons were useless against alien technology. "Show me the damage reports," Zektar ordered. The main screen lit up with images from around Earth. New York was destroyed. London was gone. Tokyo had fallen 3 days ago. Every major human city was now a smoking crater. "The humans fought bravely, I will give them that," said Lieutenant Vexra. But they never had a chance. Zektar remembered the first day of the invasion. Human fighter jets had tried to attack his ships. The aliens had laughed. Human missiles bounced off their shields like toys. Their bullets could not even scratch the alien armor. The news reports from Earth told the same story everywhere. Human armies were defeated. Their leaders were dead or missing. Millions of humans had fled to underground bunkers. But even those were being found and destroyed. "Sir, we are receiving surrender signals from the remaining human settlements," another officer reported. "Ignore them," Zektar said coldly. "We are not here to take prisoners." The Galactic Council was clear. Earth must be completely conquered. The bridge filled with the sounds of celebration. Officers laughed and congratulated each other. Some were already talking about the rewards they would receive. Earth was rich in resources. The Galactic Council would pay them well for this victory. Zektar walked to the large window that showed Earth below. The planet looked beautiful from space, with its blue oceans and white clouds. Soon, it would belong to the Galactic Empire. Humans would become slaves, if any survived at all. "Open a channel to all ships," Zektar commanded. "I want to address the entire fleet." Within seconds, his image appeared on screens throughout the alien armada. 10,000 ships, each filled with warriors, waited to hear their commander speak. "Warriors of the Empire," Zektar began, his voice strong and proud. "Today we have achieved total victory over the human species. Earth has fallen. The primitive humans could not stand against our superior technology and tactics." Cheers echoed through the communication system. Alien soldiers celebrated on every ship. "Prepare the victory message to the Galactic Council," Zektar ordered. "Tell them that Earth is ours. The human threat has been eliminated." But as he spoke these words, something strange happened. His communication officer looked confused. "Sir," the officer said, "I am detecting a signal from Earth's surface. Someone is requesting permission to board our ship." Zektar laughed. "A human wants to come aboard? Are they surrendering?" "The signal is coming from directly below us, sir. From the ruins of what used to be called Washington, D.C. "Let me hear it," Zektar said, amused. A calm human voice filled the bridge. It was a woman speaking in clear English. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen, Earth's Chief Defense Coordinator. I request an immediate meeting with your commanding officer." The alien crew burst into laughter. One human woman wanted to meet with their supreme commander after her entire planet had been destroyed. "This should be entertaining," Zektar said. "Tell her she has permission to come aboard. I want to see what this human has to say." "Sir, are you sure?" asked Lieutenant Vexra. "It could be dangerous." Zektar waved his hand dismissively. "One human woman against 10,000 ships? What could she possibly do to us?" Minutes later, the alien sensors detected a small human shuttle approaching their massive warship. The tiny craft looked like an insect next to the giant alien vessel. "Sir, the human shuttle is requesting docking permission," reported the communications officer. "Grant it," Zektar said, "but surround the docking bay with armed guards. If this human tries anything, kill her immediately." As the human shuttle docked, Zektar felt curious. What could drive a human to seek a meeting after such total defeat? Was she hoping to beg for mercy? Did she want to save the few humans who were still alive? Whatever her reason, it would not matter. Earth had fallen. Humanity was finished. This woman would soon learn that her species had been completely defeated. But deep in space, something was watching. something that had been waiting for exactly this moment. The final test was about to begin. The mysterious woman, she stood alone before 1,000 alien warriors, but she wasn't afraid. She was smiling. Dr. Sarah Chen walked calmly through the alien ship's corridors. Dozens of armed guards surrounded her. Their weapons were pointed at her head, but Sarah did not seem worried at all. The aliens stared at her with confusion. This human woman looked so ordinary. She was middle-aged, with grey hair and simple clothes. She carried only a small tablet computer. How could she be so calm after her planet had been destroyed? "Keep moving, human," growled one of the guards. His voice was full of hate. Sarah nodded politely. "Of course. I'm eager to meet your commander." The guard was surprised. Most humans they had captured were crying or screaming. This woman acted like she was going to a business meeting. They reached the main bridge. Commander Zektar sat in his command chair, looking down at Sarah with cold eyes. Around him stood hundreds of alien officers. All of them were armed and dangerous. "So," Zektar said slowly, "you are the famous Dr. Sarah Chen, the last human leader on a dead planet." Sarah smiled warmly. "Actually, I prefer Chief Defense Coordinator, and Earth isn't quite as dead as you think." The aliens laughed loudly. Some pointed at her and made jokes. How could this tiny human woman still have hope? "Look around you," Zektar said, waving his hand at the screens showing burning Earth. "Your cities are destroyed. Your armies are defeated. Your people are hiding in holes like scared animals. What defense could you possibly coordinate?" Sarah looked at the screens calmly. "Oh, those old cities? We were planning to rebuild them anyway. They were getting quite outdated." The laughter stopped. The aliens looked confused. Was this human woman insane? "You destroyed our monuments, our buildings, our old infrastructure," Sarah continued. "But you missed something very important." "And what was that?" Zektar asked, leaning forward in his chair. Sarah reached into her pocket and pulled out her small tablet. "You missed reading the fine print in your invasion contract." Now the aliens looked really confused. What was she talking about? "What contract?" "Commander," Sarah said politely, "may I see your invasion authorization from the Galactic Council?" Zektar was so surprised by this strange request that he actually ordered his officers to bring the document. Within minutes, they displayed the official invasion order on the main screen. The document was written in the alien language. It gave Zektar's fleet full permission to conquer Earth and claim it for the Galactic Empire. "Yes," Zektar said proudly, "the Galactic Council authorized this invasion. Earth belongs to us now." Sarah nodded and looked at her tablet. "That's a very impressive document, very official, but I think you should read it more carefully." "What do you mean?" Zektar demanded. Sarah smiled and pointed at the bottom of the document. "The final line, right there at the end. Did you read that part?" Zektar looked where she was pointing. His eyes found the last line of the contract. He read it once, then twice. His face began to change from confidence to confusion. "Read it out loud," Sarah suggested gently. Zektar's voice was uncertain now. "Conquest authorization is void. If native species demonstrates Class X defensive capability during invasion period." The bridge became very quiet. Every alien was staring at the document now. "Class X defensive capability?" Lieutenant Vexra asked. "What does that mean?" Sarah's smile grew wider. "Oh, that's simple. It means advanced technology that can disable an entire invasion fleet without firing a single shot." The mysterious woman, she stood alone before 1,000 alien warriors, but she wasn't afraid. She was smiling. Dr. Sarah Chen walked calmly through the alien ship's corridors. Dozens of armed guards surrounded her. Their weapons were pointed at her head, but Sarah did not seem worried at all. The aliens stared at her with confusion. This human woman looked so ordinary. She was middle-aged, with grey hair and simple clothes. She carried only a small tablet computer. How could she be so calm after her planet had been destroyed? "Keep moving, human," growled one of the guards. His voice was full of hate. Sarah nodded politely. "Of course. I'm eager to meet your commander." The guard was surprised. Most humans they had captured were crying or screaming. This woman acted like she was going to a business meeting. They reached the main bridge. Commander Zektar sat in his command chair, looking down at Sarah with cold eyes. Around him stood hundreds of alien officers. All of them were armed and dangerous. "So," Zektar said slowly, "you are the famous Dr. Sarah Chen, the last human leader on a dead planet." Sarah smiled warmly. Actually, I prefer Chief Defense Coordinator. And Earth isn't quite as dead as you think. The aliens laughed loudly. Some pointed at her and made jokes. How could this tiny human woman still have hope? Look around you, Zektar said, waving his hand at the screens showing burning Earth. Your cities are destroyed. Your armies are defeated. Your people are hiding in holes like scared animals. What defense could you possibly coordinate? Sarah looked at the screens calmly. Oh, those old cities? We were planning to rebuild them anyway. They were getting quite outdated. The laughter stopped. The aliens looked confused. Was this human woman insane? You destroyed our monuments, our buildings, our old infrastructure, Sarah continued. But you missed something very important. And what was that? Zektar asked, leaning forward in his chair. Sarah reached into her pocket and pulled out her small tablet. You missed reading the fine print in your invasion contract. Now the aliens looked really confused. What was she talking about? What contract? Commander, Sarah said politely. May I see your invasion authorization from the Galactic Council? Zektar was so surprised by this strange request that he actually ordered his officers to bring the document. Within minutes, they displayed the official invasion order on the main screen. The document was written in the alien language. It gave Zektar's fleet full permission to conquer Earth and claim it for the Galactic Empire. Yes, Zektar said proudly. The Galactic Council authorized this invasion. Earth belongs to us now. Sarah nodded and looked at her tablet. That's a very impressive document. Very official. But I think you should read it more carefully. What do you mean? Zektar demanded. Sarah smiled and pointed at the bottom of the document. The final line. Right there at the end. Did you read that part? Zektar looked where she was pointing. His eyes found the last line of the contract. He read it once, then twice. His face began to change from confidence to confusion. Read it out loud, Sarah suggested gently. Zektar's voice was uncertain now. Conquest authorization is void if native species demonstrates Class X defensive capability during invasion period. The bridge became very quiet. Every alien was staring at the document now. Class X defensive capability? Lieutenant Vexra asked. What does that mean? Sarah's smile grew wider. Oh, that's simple. It means advanced technology that can disable an entire invasion fleet without firing a single shot. The hidden clause, the contract was clear. Conquer Earth and claim it. But they forgot to read the fine print. Commander Zektar stared at his dead control panels in disbelief. His mighty warship was now floating helplessly in space. All around him, officers were pressing buttons that no longer worked. The lights flickered weakly. Status report, Zektar shouted. All weapon systems are down, sir. Lieutenant Vexra called out. Navigation is offline. We can't even send messages to other ships. Through the bridge windows, they could see the rest of the alien fleet. Ship after ship was going dark. The massive vessels that had terrorized Earth were now drifting like dead metal in space. Dr. Sarah Chen stood calmly in the center of the chaos. She watched the panicking aliens with the same mild interest someone might show while watching children play. This is impossible, Zektar said, his voice shaking. Humans don't have technology like this. We studied your species for decades. Sarah tilted her head thoughtfully. Did you? Or did you only see what we wanted you to see? She walked over to one of the dead control panels and ran her finger along its surface. You know, your technology is quite impressive. Very advanced for a young species. But you made one critical mistake. What mistake? Zektar demanded. You assumed we were primitives, Sarah said simply. She pulled out her tablet again and showed them the screen. It displayed a map of the galaxy with thousands of glowing dots. Each of these dots represents one of your ships, Sarah explained. 10,000 vessels spread across 3 star systems. All of them are now completely powerless. The aliens stared at the map in horror. Their entire invasion fleet was shown as red dots, indicating system failure. How are you doing this? Vexra whispered. Sarah touched the tablet screen and zoomed in on Earth. Do you see those blue dots appearing around your planet? New dots were appearing on the map. Hundreds of them, surrounding Earth in perfect formations. What are those? Zektar asked, though he was afraid to hear the answer. Those are human ships, Sarah said matter-of-factly. Our real ships. The bridge fell completely silent. Every alien was staring at the screen now. Real ships? Zektar repeated slowly. Sarah nodded. Oh yes. Did you really think that a species capable of space travel would only have the few crude rockets you observed? Those were just for show. She swiped the screen and the view changed. Now they could see sleek, silver vessels appearing around Earth. They seemed to materialize out of nowhere, as if they had been invisible moments before. Cloaking technology, Sarah explained. We've been watching your invasion from the very beginning. Every move you made was observed and recorded. The human ships were beautiful and clearly advanced. They made the alien warships look clumsy and outdated by comparison. But your cities, Vexra said desperately. We destroyed them. We saw them burn. Sarah laughed softly. Oh, those? Yes, that was quite a show, wasn't it? Very realistic explosions. Our holographic technology has improved tremendously over the years. Holographic? Zektar's voice was barely a whisper. The cities you destroyed were projections, Sarah explained. Light and sound, nothing more. The real cities are safely underground, protected by shields you never detected. On her tablet, she showed them new images. The destroyed areas of Earth were transforming. What had looked like ruins and ash was fading away like smoke. Underneath, gleaming cities were rising from the ground. The real New York, Sarah said, pointing to the screen. The real London, the real Tokyo, all perfectly safe. The aliens watched in stunned silence as Earth revealed its true face. Advanced cities with towering spires of crystal and metal emerged from hidden underground locations. Flying vehicles moved between the buildings like rivers of light. But the armies, an officer said weakly. We defeated your armies. Sarah shook her head. Holograms again, I'm afraid. Though I must say, our programmers did excellent work. The soldiers looked very realistic as they died. She showed them footage of the battles they had fought. But now they could see the truth. The human soldiers flickered slightly, like bad television reception. They were nothing but light projections. The real human military has been watching you the entire time, Sarah continued. From bases you never found, using sensors you never detected. More dots appeared on her map. Hidden facilities all around Earth and throughout the solar system were revealing themselves. You see, Commander, this was never really about conquest, Sarah said. This was about evaluation. Evaluation? Zektar asked. Sarah's expression became more serious. The Galactic Council didn't send you here just to conquer Earth. They sent you here to see what you would do to a seemingly defenseless world. She walked closer to Zektar. Some species, when they encounter a weaker civilization, choose to help and protect them. Others choose to conquer and destroy. The terrible truth was beginning to dawn on the alien commander. This was a test, Sarah said quietly. A test of your species' character, and I'm afraid you failed. The lights on the bridge dimmed even further. Through the windows they could see human ships moving into position around the alien fleet. The question now, Sarah said, looking directly at Zektar, is what should be done with a species that attacks innocent worlds? The tablet chimed softly. She looked at it and frowned. Oh dear, she said. It seems we have a problem. The Galactic Council is asking for a report on your performance. She looked up at the terrified aliens surrounding her. I wonder what I should tell them. Part 4. The Great Deception. For centuries, humanity had played the role of a weak species. Today, the act ends. Dr. Sarah Chen touched her tablet screen, and the bridge filled with new images. Commander Zektar and his officers watched in growing horror as the truth of humanity's deception unfolded before their eyes. Let me tell you a story, Sarah said calmly. A story about a species that learned to survive by being underestimated. The main screen showed Earth as it had been 300 years ago. Primitive cities, simple technology, early space rockets struggling to reach the moon. This is how we wanted you to see us, Sarah explained. Weak, divided, barely capable of leaving our own planet. The image changed to show the same time period from a different perspective. Hidden beneath Earth's surface were vast underground cities filled with advanced technology. Ships that could travel between stars were launching from secret bases. But this was the reality, Sarah continued. Even 3 centuries ago, we had already colonized dozens of star systems. Zektar's legs felt weak. He sat down heavily in his command chair. That's impossible. We would have detected your colonies. Sarah smiled. Would you? Tell me, Commander, how many star systems did your species explore before you found Earth? Thousands, Zektar replied automatically. And in all those systems, how many times did you encounter a species more advanced than yourselves? The alien commander thought carefully. Never. We were always the most technologically advanced species we met. Exactly, Sarah said. Because the truly advanced species were hiding from you, just like we were. She showed them a new map of the galaxy. Hundreds of star systems were marked with human symbols. Every system you explored, we were already there, Sarah explained. Watching from hidden bases, studying your behavior, learning about your species. Lieutenant Vexra stared at the map in disbelief. You've been spying on us for centuries. Not just you, Sarah said. Every aggressive species in the galaxy. We needed to know who could be trusted and who posed a threat to peaceful civilizations. The screen changed again. Now it showed dozens of different alien species. Some looked familiar to the aliens on the bridge. The Krex Empire, Sarah said, pointing to reptilian creatures on the screen. They tried to conquer a peaceful farming world called Gentari Prime. They failed the test just like you did. The image showed Krex warships floating dead in space, just like the alien fleet around Earth now. The Vorthon Collective, Sarah continued, showing insect-like aliens. They attempted to enslave a species of peaceful traders. Another failure. More species appeared on the screen. All of them had the same story. They had tried to conquer seemingly defenseless worlds, only to discover they had attacked humanity's secret allies. You see, Sarah explained, Earth isn't the only world we protect. There are hundreds of peaceful species throughout the galaxy who appear weak to predators like you. But they're all under our protection. Zektar felt sick. The farming worlds we passed on our way to Earth. All of them were watching you, Sarah confirmed. Every planet that seemed defenseless had human observers. We tracked your entire journey here. The alien commander remembered those worlds. Simple people growing crops, building basic tools, showing no signs of advanced technology. His fleet had ignored them completely. Those farmers were reporting your movements to us, Sarah said. By the time you reached Earth, we knew everything about your ships, your weapons, your battle plans. She showed them recordings of their own fleet meetings. Somehow humans had been listening to every conversation, watching every strategy session. How? Vexra whispered. Your communication systems are quite advanced, Sarah said. But not advanced enough. We've been intercepting your messages for decades. The screen showed human agents living among various alien species throughout the galaxy. They looked exactly like the local populations. Shape-shifting technology, Sarah explained casually. Very useful for long-term observation missions. Zektar realized the full scope of humanity's deception. You've been everywhere, watching everyone. Not everyone, Sarah corrected. Only the species that showed aggressive tendencies. Peaceful civilizations had nothing to fear from us. She showed them images of other alien species. These looked happy and prosperous. Their worlds were beautiful and advanced. The Zalani Republic, Sarah said. When they first encountered a less advanced species, they offered to share their technology and knowledge. They passed our test with perfect scores. The Zalani worlds shown on screen were clearly thriving. Their cities were works of art. Their people looked content and free. The Mirren Federation, Sarah continued. They discovered a planet where the native species was dying from disease. Instead of conquering the world, they worked for 50 years to develop a cure. Another perfect score. More successful species appeared on the screen. All of them had chosen to help rather than harm when they encountered weaker civilizations. These species now enjoy full membership in the true galactic community, Sarah explained. They have access to our most advanced technologies. They can travel freely throughout human space. Their people are welcome on Earth itself. Zektar looked at his own species' fate and felt despair. And the ones who failed the test? Sarah's expression became serious. They are contained, prevented from traveling beyond their home systems. Their aggressive instincts are too dangerous to allow them to roam free among peaceful species. The screen showed a map of quarantined systems. Dozens of aggressive species were trapped on their home worlds, unable to leave. But we're not cruel, Sarah added. Contained species can still develop their own worlds. They can still grow and learn. If they prove that they've changed, that they've learned to be peaceful, the quarantine can be lifted. She looked directly at Zektar. Some species have achieved this. The Corvini were once as aggressive as you, but after 2 centuries of isolation, they learned the value of peace. They're now trusted members of the galactic community. 2 centuries? Zektar's voice was hollow. Change takes time, Sarah said gently, but it is possible. The alien commander looked around his dead bridge. His officers stared at him with fear and desperation in their eyes. What happens now? He asked. Sarah consulted her tablet. Now comes the final decision. The Galactic Council is waiting for my report. I must tell them whether your species should be quarantined like the others, or whether there's hope for a different path. She looked at Zektar thoughtfully. The choice, Commander, is yours. Through the bridge windows, they could see human ships moving closer. Sleek, powerful vessels that could easily destroy the helpless alien fleet. But the humans weren't firing. They were waiting. Tell me, Sarah said quietly, if you could do this invasion again, knowing what you know now, what would you choose? The fate of an entire species hung on Zektar's answer.